Yeah, welcome everybody to Atlanta. Yeah, it's getting exciting. It's getting exciting playing here in front of a sold-out crowd tomorrow night, semifinals, and getting closer to our goal. Now our goal is to win this competition, and we're now together as a group 3.5 weeks, and now we know kind of the semi-final, and then obviously hopefully the final. You know, you have these 2 games that you want to stand out and you want to create something special, and the special part that we want to create is getting to the CONCACAF Cup 2017 in Russia as quickly as possible. So we're looking forward to it. It's a very difficult opponent, very tough team to play. That Jamaica, that totally deserves to be in those semifinals. They probably are the best prepared team in this competition because of how they structured everything with the Copa America. They have about 14 players went down to Chile as their core, so they're in a full flow. Most of the players play in England, some in the Premier League, and a couple of more in the English Championship, and a few more obviously we know from MLS. So quality team, very difficult to play, which we always experience when we play them. Every game is a tight game, is a battle, and we expect a real battle tomorrow night in Atlanta.
Yeah, we're certainly very excited to be here. Semi-final speaks for itself. Over the course of your career as a player, the chance to lift a trophy doesn't come around every day. And while we certainly have the utmost respect for Jamaica, we know it's going to be a very difficult game. I think everybody on all 4 teams is probably sensing a little bit a big opportunity here. And so we're, again, very excited. We know it will be a very difficult match. We know Jamaica well from a lot of battles over the years in qualifying, but we'll be ready to give everything we have and do everything possible to make sure we're in the final.
Thanks. Let's open up the floor for questions. Please raise your hand. We'll pass the microphone, and then we can take some questions from the audience. Let's begin. Another question? Start with Grant.
Jurgen, probably not the easiest question to ask with Michael sitting right next to you, but how do you feel about what you're getting out of him, both on and off the field?
I gotta ask him that.
No, I mean, like, so far in this tournament.
No, I think, you know, Michael is doing a great job getting this team going, and we knew it's going to be a very difficult start. You know, with Honduras in our group was definitely the most difficult one, with the kind of the unknown Haiti that turned out to be a really, really good team. So we went through that grind. Michael led them through that process. You know, it was obviously an easier task than in the quarterfinals with Cuba. And now it's really important that he and the experienced players next to him get everybody on the highest level of alertness, of competitiveness and aggressiveness, because that's what we're going to face tomorrow night. And he has so much experience under his belt already, and some other ones too, experienced players that are on the field. So now, as a coach, you want them to take that role on now and make sure that we're going to get to the final in Philadelphia.
It's you guys have half of the ticket to the Confederations, regardless of what happens in this Gold Cup. And I was wondering, Coach, if that enormous weight that other teams have for this particular tournament makes it difficult to keep your players on point and on mission to win this Gold Cup. And also, I was wondering if no injuries, you guys are clean. You come with all your elements for tomorrow's match against Jamaica.
Yeah, we're all good with everybody for tomorrow night, and I think, you know, the fact that it's at stake with the CONCACAF Cup 2017 in Russia speaks by itself. You know, we want to badly be there, and we want to be there as quickly as possible, and it's all down to business tomorrow night.
Yes, Jurgen. How often have your paths with Winfried Schaefer crossed in the past. He indicated that you once played for him, I believe, in an exhibition game.
Yeah, no, our path crossed many times. I mean, he's a very charismatic, he's a very energetic coach, and was that also as a player. I think Buddy Folks knows a little bit more about him as a player. They were both at Borussia Mönchengladbach a long time ago. No, I'm not surprised about his work with Jamaica, because he's very strategic, he's smart, he's very much able to adjust to different cultures and mentalities and different environments. And that's what he's doing now with Jamaica. He's coached many other nations and clubs around the world. So, and he's very, very competitive. So he will tell his players everything possible in order to make it miserable for us, difficult for us, and that's his job. All the times that we met, you know, we're always having a good time with each other. He loves to joke around. He's a positive nature. So looking forward to seeing him tomorrow night.
Jurgen, can you talk about Bobby and Johnson and his versatility and what that brings, and what you ask of him to not be able to hone in on one position and sort of master that?
Well, it's definitely a good thing that, you know, he can play both sides, left and right. He can play even in midfield. We're trying to make the best out of it in terms of what we need as the national team program. So when we need him on the right, we play him on the right. We need him on the left, we play him on the left. I think, you know, in the World Cup in Brazil, in my opinion, was the best right back in Brazil of all teams, and we're happy about that. You know, his situation with Borussia Mönchengladbach is different. They play him as a left winger, again based on what they need in their environment, in their team. So we are glad to have him on board, and we hope for him to give two really, really good performances now with the semi and the final the next couple of days.
Michael, can you talk to the I guess the diversity of this country, and particularly and in this region, what we'll see tomorrow with U.S., Mexico, and obviously two other CONCACAF teams, the mix and the flavor that we'll see in a stadium like this.
I think it's one of the beautiful things about our game. When you look not just across the world, but in this region, and specifically if we talk about our country for a second, the way that the game can connect so many different people, the way that the power of football in terms of its ability to bring people together who otherwise would really have nothing else in common. And I think it's in moments like this that as players you realize how lucky you are to do what we do. And again, the opportunity that we have in front of us is not lost on us. Representing the United States in big tournaments is an honor. It's incredibly special. And for us, the chance to step on the field tomorrow night in a stadium like this in a semifinal of a big tournament, not much more you can ask for.
Jurgen, obviously the back line has come under a lot of scrutiny in this tournament. I was wondering if you could just talk about what you think the progression has been, during the entire tournament for that group.
Well, I don't think that, it's much scrutiny. I think, yeah, there were in the first couple of games here and there some mistakes that we're working on, and it's also, down to an opponent that you play, what they're going to do and how they kind of get at you. So it's a very good kind of learning process for everybody involved, whoever plays them in the back line. I think overall as an entire team, kind of from game to game, we see them getting more and more into this tournament and in a better flow, which we all knew because we had just 1 week of preparation there. These kind of games give those players, in particular young defenders in the back line, a huge amount of experience. That's where they kind of really grow. And we see a lot of talent in our back line. So there will be always the calculation that there might be here and there a mistake, and they might get criticized for that, or we get criticized, and that's totally fine. You know, at the end of the day, it's down to the results, you know, that you got to come away with, and we were qualified for the quarterfinals after 2 games, obviously with the help of the other teams as well. But we see a very positive progress here happening, and no matter who steps on the field tomorrow night, we'll get the job done.
The years, it's the first Jamaica team to get to the semis here since '98. What makes this particular edition of this Jamaica team different, or do you see a difference?
I think the organization and the discipline that they have, certainly in this team, to touch on Jurgen's point, now that they've been together over the past really 2 months, has helped them quite a bit. They always have skill and ability and talent, athleticism, but you can see in the moment that they're in a good way. They understand each other. They understand what they need to be about in order to give themselves a chance to be successful. And I think, again, we have to have respect for them and make sure that we're ready to take care of things on our end.
No, about Giles, I mean, I think he's playing a very good tournament, impressive, and we know him well from MLS, so we'll have a special eye on him. He's not going to do so well tomorrow night.
What makes him unique specifically?
Well, no, I mean, if you watch his game, you know, he drops sometimes deep, then he kind of goes with speed into the box. He has a good smell, he knows where the ball will drop, so he has a good instinct, so he's fun to watch, definitely a good player. And as Michael said, they're together 2 months now, so they're fine-tuned, everybody's working for each other, so a very difficult team to beat, but that's our job tomorrow night.
Jurgen, I think if you take the Cuba results aside, out of the 18 games so far, there's only been 1 decided by more than 1 goal in this competition. So it's, you know, obviously seems very tight. I was just wondering, you know, your overall thoughts on the Gold Cup and the standard of play and any trends that you might have picked up on.
Well, overall, it just confirms what we all know. CONCACAF region is very, very competitive. It's very tight, you know, teams like we experienced in the group stage, like Haiti and especially, you know, Honduras and Panama, very difficult teams to beat. So whenever we go then in World Cup qualifiers to Central America or to the Caribbean, it's not just an easy path. It's always very tight, you know, you just need to get the result. If you get the result with 1 goal difference, then you're happy, you know. So it just speaks for itself that this region is very competitive and wants to do well. You know, you had with Costa Rica, Mexico and us, 3 teams in the knockout stage in the World Cup last summer, and very impressive. You know, so we got a lot of compliments from Europe and South American nations about, you know, how the game is played here, and I think you can see that again in this Gold Cup. You know.
We can take 1 or 2 more if we have them. Let's go in the back here.
Coach, it's been a long time since U.S. men's soccer has been in Atlanta. What kind of environment do you expect tomorrow in the game here at the Georgia Dome?
Well, obviously we all hope for huge support tomorrow night for us, because we know it's going to be a very, very difficult game. And with every U.S. soccer fan coming to the stadium and giving us support, it will help, you know, especially in the moments maybe when things are not going so well in the field. You need a loud crowd that cheers you on and gives you energy. So that's what we're hoping for tomorrow night here in Atlanta. We are glad to be here.
Let's take a final question here in the back. For Coach Klinsmann and Michael Bradley from the United States.
Have either one of y'all spent much time in Atlanta before today?
It's great.
First time here?
Pretty much, yeah, going through the airport all the time, but not downtown.
What does it mean about how much this area is growing as a soccer fan base?
I think it's hugely important, and you know, soon we will have an MLS team here in Atlanta as well. So when you look at the whole picture there, how soccer grows in this country, it's just tremendous. You know, and Atlanta is a very, very important area where, you know, youth soccer is big. You know, now comes an MLS team, which is huge, and you want to see the game grow everywhere throughout the United States, and hopefully Atlanta will be one of the helps as well.
Michael, you want to